Hey, good morning. Happy Friday. October 8th. Can you believe it? October 8th. This is my last Friday in the office. Last Friday in the office. Now, it's not my last at my job. I still work through next Thursday. So I gave my 2 weeks. So I just decided I'm going to why have my last day on a Friday? Let's get started on a Friday selling cards full time. So next Thursday, October 14th, my last day in the office. I tweeted yesterday, and this is some of the this is something that I take for granted when you think you like put something out there. It's like, oh, everybody saw this. Everybody knows what I'm doing. They know that I'm leaving my job to sell baseball cards full time. But in reality, I think I did receive like 100 views, which is a lot more than normal on my hobby evolution series. But in the Twitter sphere, it's not too many. It's a small percent, a really, really small percent. So when I tweeted it out, I was like overwhelmed by all of the response, which is awesome. I have a lot more to go through, and that really helps me make this move. It gives me that positive momentum that I've got all this support, all these people rooting for me, which is super cool. So I want to go into. I had a couple questions that I thought I would elaborate on. I'm going to wait until this is like a full time, just so I have, not that I don't have the freedom to talk about, but I would feel dirty talking about, you know, the the personal decision to make the move while I'm still employed. So I want to wait. So next week, maybe next Friday, I'll talk about the decision, because it wasn't just one. It wasn't a simple decision. It's actually been well over a year in the works to make this move. So I do want to talk about it, but I just don't think now is the right time. I want to wait till I'm, fully under the employ of myself before I would talk about that. So what's up, Andrew? Good morning. Good morning, Mark. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And Zach, what's up? Zach, hope you had a good workout this morning. It's Friday. So I want to talk about eBay negative feedback and feedback in general on eBay. Before I get to that, tomorrow I'll be at the Rockford Card Show, the Northern Illinois Card Show in Rockford, Illinois, 9 to 3 at the Rock Church on Harrison Avenue. I'll have all my bargain boxes in tow. I've been just kind of on the side. I've been sleeving up some new cards I want to have. And I've talked about this. I want for my October 23rd show here in Madison, I want to have specific all new this month. So my regular customers know they don't have to waste their time through boxes trying to find a pile of new. So every new card that's added to the bargain boxes will be in their own separate boxes for the regulars and the repeat customers. So they can just go to that box to check out the new stuff. And then, it gives them more time to either A, see other booths, or B, go through my other older stuff if they didn't hit up a box. So I've got so much stuff to sleeve, running low on sleeves. I'm going to finish that up tonight for tomorrow's show in Rockford. Also tonight, I think I'm just going to open the rest of my Bowman Chrome boxes, and I'm a sucker for it's driving me nuts. I bought 6 boxes. I've opened 3. Mixed results. I had a great hit with the Pedro Pineda Green Auto. It sold for $275. That covered 1+ box. Probably after fees and shipping, probably covered 1.25 boxes on its own. The others, though, if you pull like some of the other autos, only sold for like 10 to 15 bucks. So when you're talking about $170 box, and you'll get, and David and I were talking in chat yesterday about sealed wax and what products we've been buying, and it's like, take into consideration Bowman Chrome, like even and I bought if you bought from Tops, it was still like over $3 a card because there's 60 cards per box at like I think after shipping and tax probably 200 bucks. So it was like around $3 per card. And yeah, if you pull an auto, that's say that's 15 bucks. So that covers, if it's a low end auto, it's 15 bucks. Uh, but you're also going to pull like a Chris Bryant base, which obviously goes in my own collection. But say you're not a Cubs collector, it's a quarter card. Joey Votto, I just pulled one of those. And so a lot of these cards I was listing as singles on eBay last night, it's like 99 cents, 99 cents. I'd list rookies for two. And so it's one of those where it's like, oh man, but it's also the unknown. It's definitely a gamble. What if there's a big hit in there, or what if there's a Christian Hernandez Cubs auto in there? So it's like I have to go through and open the rest. So I think I'm going to do that. My wife's leaving for Chicago today for the weekend. So I think after work, maybe I'll make an evening of it. I'll watch a scary movie because there's a couple new like Netflix scary movies on that my wife, she is not a scary movie fan. So I have to save these for like if I'm just hanging out in the basement or if my wife's out of town. So I will watch scary movie. There's a couple. There's one in particular that I just saw on Netflix. There's Someone Inside Your House, which I was always fascinated by those movies. Like when a stranger remake. Halloween comes out next Friday, October 15th. So I'm excited to watch that one as well. So I really enjoy scary movies, especially in the month of October. So I think that's on the docket for tonight. But also like there's wrestling, maybe preseason NBA game. There's like all this stuff that this is what I do. This is why I want to open boxes because there's shows that I like and I can make a night out of it. I probably can't order a Casey's Pizza because they close so early and it's the only one within close distance. So I'd order Casey Taco Pizza and make a night of opening cards and watching something, whether it's a wrestling event or a movie, whatever. So that's what's going on tonight. Let's talk eBay feedback. So up until recently, I haven't been a fan of eBay feedback, and probably the biggest reason is it's just not equal playing ground. It's just not because sellers can't. If you have a buyer who let's just say doesn't pay, like you can't leave negative feedback. Like seller, that was a negative experience, especially if it was say a hot new product that okay, this is the market rate right now. But now you screwed me at this auction. I have to list it again at 3, 5, 7 days. Now the market's dropped and I just lost $100 because of your non-payment for whatever reason. That was a negative experience as a seller because buyers have full reign to leave negative feedback no matter what the experience. If they were disappointed with, I see a lot, well, this was sent PWE and I paid $3 for shipping. Well, if the card was damaged, you have a point. But I don't feel. Now, first off, I'll preface this with it's wrong to charge $3 and ship it a PWE, but you do receive the card. Like my thought process as a buyer, I don't care how the card is sent to me because I'm paying, let's say this Rafael Morel. I bought a Bowman Chrome auto of, who was it? It wasn't Made. It was one of the other guys in the product this year. And it was like, I think $8. I expect that to come in a PWE because it's less than $20. And I don't even know how much they had charged for shipping. I don't care because I look at what I'm paying for the card plus the cost of shipping. So if say that card was $5 plus $4 shipping, I'm paying $9. That's the market rate. $9 was the market rate for whatever card I bought. I can't remember. It was only yesterday. It was one of the Bowman Chrome autos, but $9 was the market rate for whatever card that was, regardless of how it's sent. If it comes in a PWE and it's the card I ordered and wasn't damaged, I don't care. Good for the seller for making a few extra bucks on me. I think I wouldn't do it as a seller. I don't do it. Um, but I don't care the buyer. And I would certainly never leave neutral or negative feedback for that, because as a buyer, I'm paying for cost plus shipping, and if it gets to me safe, I really don't care. I've sent stuff track over the card, and I've had more instances of damaged cards sent in bubble mailers than PWE, and I send far more PWE than bubble mailer. My PWE to bubble mailer ratio is probably 80 to 20%, and I've still had more damaged bubble mailers than plain white envelopes. So that's a different tangent. We're talking eBay feedback here. Okay, Zach says, I've had my hobby recently invigorated by deciding to do more trading and sport lots purchases, more rewarding and fun. That's awesome. Plus, people have no love for the Bears or Hester in the hobby. Help stretch my budget too. That is great. There's always, I love that. What's up, Dan? Good morning. It's awesome to. I heard the word. I think somebody used hobby hotline recently. Pivot. I think Dr. Beckett used that word. I love that word. Pivot. It's a great pivot. So that's awesome. So eBay feedback. I've never been a fan of the eBay feedback system. I think it needs an overhaul. I was in one of those roundtable Zoom discussions. Probably, I think it was I was working from home, so it was probably in the winter or last fall. And that's one of the things I brought up was, the eBay feedback system needs an overhaul. It's not fair that, what stinks is not leaving negative feedback for buyers. In some of the why eBay says that is, well, they don't want sellers to, leave negative feedback as like a revenge negative feedback, but a buyer can. Like, it doesn't make sense. So it needs an overhaul. I didn't really pay much attention to it up until about a year or two ago. I never left feedback until I started like volume selling on eBay. I never left feedback as a buyer. I never left feedback as a seller. And I know that rubs people the wrong way. And I love automating. So I automate my positive feedback. So upon payment, I have just a generic positive feedback left for the buyer upon payment. And I know people say, well, what if? What if the buyer's an a-hole and they leave you negative feedback and it was just a terrible purchase? Well, that happens, fortunately, very few times. And when it does happen, yeah, it does suck. It's like, shoot, I left them a positive feedback and they're a big a-hole. But it happens. But, I think my feedback over the last, my feedback score is 10,500, almost 8,000 in the last 12 months. And it's happened very few times where it's like I left them a positive and I wish it wasn't. But, say 8,000 in the last 12 months. I've only regretted the positive, the false positive, like 7,997 times. So 7,997 times it worked for the good. There were 3 occasions in the last 12 months where it's like, shoot, I wish I wouldn't have left. I wish that wasn't automated. So Mark says, I don't leave feedback that often. Yeah. Dan says, I leave positive feedback when an item is received as described. And it's personal preference. And frankly, I don't really care for myself if I like receiving feedback, but it's not, I kind of get annoyed when people send the messages. And I do know sometimes, don't get upset with those emails because sometimes they are automated. And I've had several instances where people will send me an eBay message, please leave positive feedback, and I'll respond, hey, thanks, I already did. It's automated once you make payment. And they're like, and then they respond, oh, sorry, it's an automated email or whatever. So let's talk about the crappy situations where false feedback is. Now, I learned yesterday that to get a negative removed is actually super easy if it's the right situation. And fortunately, mine was the right situation. Um, so what happened was I had somebody um, make an offer on an item, and I accepted, and they didn't pay right away, which is fine. I don't care. Like, I don't need payment right away. And 2 days go by, and it's like, well, they accepted they sent me an offer. Why are they not? Why are they not paying? It's 2 days, and normally it's no big deal, but it's like I'm just gonna boom. I just hit the reminder email, automated by eBay. Um, Zach says, "Wait, but you don't personally think?" I do personally think that. So I sent the automated payment reminder and didn't receive a response. Now this was an item that was fairly popular. I had received several offers. It's not a new item, so it's not something that, oh my god, it's got to sell in the next week. But it was a popular item, and I could get it moved. My philosophy is, streamline and liquidate as much as possible. So after 4 days, and I wait until, like, there's an option. There's no longer an open non-payment for buyers that don't pay. Now it's you just cancel the order. But there's an option, and you have to wait. I think it's 4 days before it says you're canceling the order because the buyer hasn't paid. So if you come across this instance where a buyer hasn't paid, make sure that's an option when you cancel the order, because if it's not an option, then it's a gray area, and if they do happen to leave you negative feedback, it might not get removed. So make sure that's an option, because otherwise it could be a strike against your seller profile. So the option was there. Buyer hasn't paid. It's been 4 days, and they didn't even communicate with me. If they would have replied at any point within that 4 days and said, "Hey, I'm sorry, I'm really busy, I'll pay, blah, blah, blah," whatever reason, yeah, that's cool. That's fine. I'd probably wait 2 weeks. Just as long as there's communication, there's open. If you're not going to respond, if you're not even going to if you're not going to reach out and say, "Hey, I can't pay for a week," or, "Hey, I'm really busy, I'll pay when I get home," or whatever, just communicate. No communication. 4 days, boom. I know I can sell it, and I did. I relisted it, and it sold within 24 hours. That person paid. Actually, that person waited a couple days to pay, but it was only like 2 days. They paid, boom, shipped. Once I canceled the first person who didn't pay, and I canceled the order, as soon as that order was canceled, they sent me an eBay message. Like, boom, instant. Why did you cancel my order? Blah, 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 blah. But they didn't have the courtesy to communicate before that, with 4 days of no communication. But I canceled the order, and now they're upset. And I said, well, I sent you a reminder, and you never responded, and it's been 4 days. And then they gave me all this, and they said they're a doctor, they work at a hospital, and saving lives is more important than cards. And it's like, okay, didn't respond to that. Boom, move on. This was a couple weeks ago. Yesterday morning, and I checked my feedback just to make sure things like this don't happen. And if they do happen, I can nip them in the bud, as Barney Fife would say. For an Andy Griffith Show reference, that's probably 382 episodes. My first Andy Griffith Show reference. So all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, after I canceled this order, the item has probably already been received by the buyer who actually paid. This first guy leave me feedback, cancel the order. I can't remember what he said, but cancel the order before time was given or something. And it's like, that's false. So my first order was, I went to the blowout forums, and there's a great forum, eBay feedback, bad buyers. And I mean, anytime somebody doesn't pay or if I'm suspicious, I just either go to the blowout forums and search that eBay username or just Google it. And sometimes it pops up in the blowout forums like that Piowarski guy from Florida, who's like a rampant, I never received this for PWE. He was on there several times. So I listed non-payer. Somebody responded, they're like, hey, you can probably get that removed by eBay. And I'm like, I've never done this before. And now I wish I had gone through this process. It was super easy because now as I look back and I've got my eBay feedback open, I've been left, and now it's probably too late to have them removed, but maybe if I find a few minutes, I'll try. Because one was this was a neutral feedback left about 6 months ago. Great item, well packaged, thanks. And it was a neutral feedback. So what happened was, this person likely, and this is another fault of the eBay feedback system. It defaults, and I'm pretty sure it defaults, enter a new feedback, it defaults to the last feedback you left. So this person probably had a bad experience because I actually have had this happen multiple times, believe it or not, where people will say, I had one where it was like, this guy didn't ship in a penny sleeve top loader, crazy. And it's like, that's absolutely false. And so I reached out and I said, hey, what's going on here? And they're like, oh my God. And they apologized up and down. It was either they mixed up me with somebody else or it was a default from the previous transaction they had an issue with. So they removed it. So in this case, this person probably left a neutral feedback, although it doesn't make sense because great item, well packaged, thanks. Why would you leave a new? So I don't know. And I'm sure I reached out because anytime I see something like that, I message the person, and most of the time they don't respond. Because they're probably not, like, I'm in eBay like a lot, daily. And so a casual buyer is probably just, popping in here and there, and they don't know like the ins and the outs. So, and they don't check their messages. So another one, and here's another instance, and I reached out, and usually these are low feedback scores. This one was 123. Cards not shipped in top loaders, only penny sleeves. Horrible way to ship. That is absolutely false. This one I did. So there's a way you can dispute the feedback and ask the buyer to remove it. So I did that with some of these. So this person, I did that. I sent them a message. They didn't respond. And then I did the remove feedback. Of course, they didn't respond to that either. So then I went to a reply, said, this is false. Buyer ordered one card. It was shipped in penny sleeve top loader with cardboard protection, which is, I don't do the cardboard protection anymore. That was kind of something that I tested, and everything has gone well, has gone swimmingly. But at that time I was still doing the cardboard protection. Another one, never ship PWE, come on please. And I'm pretty sure this was on like $1.50 card with free shipping. So I reached out and I'm like, hey, and this was also buyer with under 100 feedback. In my description, it says shipped in PWE. It's free shipping. So it annoys me. These anti-PWE monsters really tick me off. Another one, never got this card, refund please. That was last December when like the mail was absolutely crazy. This person actually left, fortunately it was a neutral, not a negative. They actually left that before. They didn't message me. They didn't open a case. They just left a neutral feedback. So they kind of went backwards on how the process works. So those are just some instances. Unfortunately, eBay will not step in. Those instances, eBay will not step in and remove feedback, most likely, because they want you to go. So eBay basically wants the buyer and seller to work it out. But there's situations where they will step in and change it up. So like this person, the most recent neutral I received, that says great item, well packaged, thanks. That's just a mistake by the buyer, I would think. So eBay would say, no, you've got to work that out with, we're not going to step in. You've got to work that out with the other party. The card's not shipped in top loaders, only penny sleeps, horrible way to ship, even though that's false. eBay doesn't know that. They're a third party. They don't know if I'm telling the truth or if the other person's telling the truth. I would hope they would lean towards a 10,000 plus top rated seller as opposed to a 123 newbie. So in those instances, eBay's just going to say, sorry, we can't step in. You're going to have to resolve that on your own with the other party. So in my instance, my situation, all steps were followed. The negative feedback was not warranted. So here's how it all went down. So I went to the blowout forums, stated the situation. Here's what's going on. And somebody responded, eBay will remove that. Okay, I'll check into that. So I went to eBay. Now the eBay help system is kind of difficult to navigate. So basically I typed in help, remove negative feedback. I had to read like 2 or 3 articles to like kind of get to the right place. I found the right place, the right article, and it still didn't give me, that's the one thing. It's like, they don't give you like, okay, I want to remove the feedback. How do I do? You're just telling me the situations. You're not actually telling me how to remove the feedback. So I scrolled down and there was actually a link at the very bottom, not part of the article, but at the very bottom of the page, ask to remove feedback or something to that effect. I clicked on that. And so it was, I think I had to, you click on the, and it was super easy at that point because then it said, and it's like, there's a drop down negative and it's the only negative. So the drop down negative, click on that. And then, so it automatically gives eBay, all of the information to that listing. And then the description, you just write out, here's what happened. So you state your case. I stated my case, hit enter, and 10 minutes later, that negative feedback was gone. That's how easy it was. I mean, it was difficult to navigate to find the right place. It only took me a few minutes, but it was just kind of clunky to get there. But it was removed. Boom, 10 minutes. eBay removed the negative feedback. So in those instances, because I followed, so the reason they removed that feedback was because the buyer didn't pay. I sent a payment reminder and I waited the 4 days and they still didn't pay. I canceled the order, and I canceled the order because the buyer didn't pay. So all of the steps for me as a seller to follow, were followed in that case. Now, if I would have canceled the order on day 3, it wouldn't have gave me the option for non-payment. It would have given me an option for buyer requested or out of stock or something else. So then I would have been SOL. Or even if I would have waited 4 days or 5 days and I clicked on buyer asked to cancel or something else, not the non-payment option, they still would have, they would probably not have removed that feedback because I clicked the wrong one. So just make sure if this ever happens to you, follow the right steps through eBay. And if those steps are followed and you submit your claim, it was removed like literally 10 minutes, that negative feedback. So that was awesome. It's 7:16. I've got to run. Last Friday in the office, but still five more days in the office. Next Thursday is my last day. So thanks for the chat. Have a great Friday. I will be opening some Bowman Chrome boxes tonight. I think I'm just going to tweet them out. So check it out on Twitter at 1 million Cubs. And I'll probably, I think I'm going to do like the pack at a time. Like I'll open a pack and take a picture and then sleeve it up. I hate breaking on video, and I'm going to make a night of it. I'm going to make an evening of my Bowman Chrome. So, but I'll share it with you on Twitter, pack by Glorious Pack. So I'll be on Twitter tonight with that at 1 million Cubs. Andrew says, Badgers, take it easy on my Illini tomorrow. Yes, sir. They probably will take it too easy on your Illini. I would not be surprised if Illinois beats Wisconsin tomorrow. The Badgers kind of suck. So I know the Illini aren't that great either, but the Badgers are kind of reeling lately. So yeah, I'll just be watching the score from my phone tomorrow at the show. Card shows in Rockford 9-3 tomorrow. I will not be live tomorrow because I'll be leaving early for the show. So I will not be live. I will be tweeting. Mertz looked awesome against the Illini last year. I don't even know if he can play tomorrow. He got that chest injury last week, so I don't even know if he's been cleared. So I live on Sunday morning as a recap. So Sunday morning will be my next live show recapping the Rockford Card Show. Have a great Friday, and follow me on Twitter at 1 million Cubs. We'll be breaking some Bowman Chrome tonight. Have a good one.